Now, for more on the Basic Education Department's plans to try and avoid the Sadtu strike, we joined in the studio by the department spokesperson, Panyaza Lesufi. Panyaza, thank you very much for coming in. Okay, what efforts has the department put in place to try and prevent this strike?
Well, we are meeting with the leadership of Sadtu on Thursday. The minister has requested to be present in those discussions because he's taking this issue very seriously. So we're hopeful on Thursday we'll have substantial discussions on the issues.
So Minister Mutshekga herself will be present at the talks tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's just take a step back. What are they really unhappy about from your understanding as a department?
Well, we had a national strike by Sadtu. You will recall last year there were marches across all major centers of our country. And they went to the president, handed over a memorandum. On the basis of that memorandum, the minister believed that because they've handed over to the president, let's have an independent person to preside over that investigations. Indeed, a retired judge, Judge Velem, was requested to preside, and Sadtu was requested to make their legal firm present in those discussions. And it's now public knowledge that the DG was not found guilty. And on that basis, the DG was cleared, and the minister felt that the DG must return to work.
So there was a due process,
it was,
and Sadtu was part of it all along?
Yes, there were.
And the findings were made, and now they are unhappy about them.
And that's what troubles us, to say that if you are going to point a finger to a credible person like a judge to say your findings are totally unacceptable, it put the department in a very serious predicament, because you can't appoint a judge when the findings doesn't suit you. You come and say these findings cannot be taken seriously. So as a department, we operate within a legal framework. The DG has its own rights, and they must be respected. And therefore, it is in that context we feel that tomorrow's discussions with Sadtu may assist to find us a middle ground that can be acceptable to all parties.
Is the department satisfied with the findings that have cleared Subrayan?
Purely because after the findings were made publicly, no one officially came to us. Even Sadtu, they only served a strike notice. They didn't come to us to say.
Yes, but I'm trying to understand, is the department satisfied with the process and the findings?
Definitely.
Okay. What could be the middle ground?
Well, for us is to respect people's rights and ensure that everyone's rights are appropriately respected. So if Sadtu believes the findings are not correct, is to say, let's follow due process. We can review this decision in any court, and you believe that indeed the DG erred in some of the decisions that he took before. You've got the Labour Court case that is still there. Actually, that's just been finalized on the same matter. So where we are as a department, the middle ground is to say, let's respect all the legal frameworks that we operate within and ensure that everyone has the right to exercise those legal frameworks. And therefore, if we are not happy with a certain outcome, let's exhaust the relevant channels.
Will that be the main focus of the discussions between the minister and Sadtu tomorrow?
Our understanding is to get a better understanding from Sadtu to say what are the issues here, because you requested that we take this route of a retired judge. We took that route. Now we are not happy with the outcome. What do you want? And if we know what they want, we'll be in a position to find a middle ground and resolve the impasse.
Sadtu has also raised the question of salaries, saying that teachers are the lowest paid in the public service. Do you think the issue of salaries will also be on the agenda tomorrow?
We're honestly taken aback yesterday when we heard that statement. What we know is that they've been having discussions with the Minister of Public Service and Administration, which is the legitimate body that regulates salaries in the public service. And those discussions have been held for quite some time. So we wanted those discussions to be finalized. We won't benefit if teachers are not appropriately remunerated. As a department, we'll be the first one to be excited that teachers must be appropriately remunerated. So what we have is to say, conclude those discussions with the Minister of Public Service and Administration. We will accept any outcome that comes from those discussions and we'll implement it immediately.
So you're saying the Minister of Basic Education does not have the authority, so to speak, to finalize salaries for the teachers? It depends on the Department of Public Service and Administration? On
the issues they've raised, because it's not about salaries of teachers, it's equalizing those salaries with those of the Public Service Administration staff. And if you have to enter that terrain, it means the Minister of Finance must come in, the Minister of Public Service Administration must come in. But those discussions were held actually since last year. So we are of the view that those discussions must conclude, and on the basis of whatever resolution that has been reached in those discussions, we'll abide ourselves to those decisions and we'll implement it immediately.
Thank you very much. That's spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education, Panyaza Lesufi.
Know more about your world. eNCA.com